Hey everybody, this is Chris Park from Arking Games. Just wanted to do a very quick video with some stuff from AI War 2 0.401, which is an exciting build for me because it uh, more or less concludes some of the nastiest performance saga that I've been on. And so I want to go ahead and show you this one. This is a slow battle save that Badger had uploaded, I don't know, a month and a half ago. And I'm running a mm, latest gen i7 with a, GTX 1070 on it and like 32 gigs of RAM, I think. So, you know, not super top specs, but way up there. And I was getting originally like 5 frames a second or so performance on it, and then kind of um, like a choppy 20 frames a second for various reasons. So Unity's reported frames a second that you can see up here in the corner is not 100% accurate in terms of exactly what it means. Like 600 frames a second isn't quite right, but we'll call it close enough. And so when I come in here, everything's paused to start out with. You can also see some of the new GUI stuff that we're working on, but it has a long way to go before it really looks great. And so when I just would come in here previously and look at this when it was paused, I was getting really, really bad, uh, 20, 30 frames a second, just not even any sim logic, just staring at this screen. And that was before we moved to GPU instancing. And then we were locked to about 80 frames a second or so on my machine before I implemented um, the things in this particular release, which include basically with the individual gimbals here, they have individual meshes now, which instead of having 6 or 8 parts or whatever per gimbal, it's only one. And thanks to GPU instancing, it shouldn't really have been an issue, but short of using command buffers, which are not something I'm super ready to do right now, and there are issues with that. A lot of the anyway, forgetting the technological mumbo jumbo, um, some of the Unity GPU pipeline is inherently CPU bottlenecked when you're throwing 10,000, right, 3,000 or whatever um, individual sprites at it. And so when in a scene like this, on my 1070, literally half of my GPU load was not all these wonderful 3D models and animated background, uh, you know, asteroids or anything like that. It was the stupid uh, sprite gimbals. And now I'm able, in a similar view to what I had before, a lot of times I'm able to get more like 120, 140 frames a second. And depending on exactly where I am and what I'm looking at, the frame rate is going to fluctuate pretty substantially. You see it going to like 106 and some cases down to like 80 something. And that's just based off of the level of detail system that we have, which is a custom one for us. So right now, getting like 130, 140. Um, and that depends on how many ships are actually within view at the time, and just how far from the. I'm sorry, hold on. I'm sorry there. I got distracted there. My wife was texting me. At any rate, so based on the LED system, certain ships are showing at different quality levels based on how close they are to the camera. This is our own custom implementation, which is way more efficient than the one that Unity has built in. Um, and we're using GPU instancing along with that, which I don't think Unity's version actually supports. Maybe it does. I'm not sure. But at any rate, so that affects greatly the number of set pass calls, which you can see in the number of batches, and you can see the number saved by batching. And so the higher the number of set pass calls in general, the lower the frame rate is going to go. And there are other things that impact that as well that are more CPU side rather than GPU side. But um, you can see it. Yeah, I'm not really. Now that I had a 90 frames a second there for a second. Anyhow, um, so this is 4,800 ships, and when I was, then actually running the game, then that's when I was getting down to having really poor performance, and so um, specifically when sending these guys through. So now I'm dropping down some. I'm down to 60 frames a second. you know, um, and so the nice thing is it stays smooth either way. Check out that new fade out and fade back in now, by the way. That's new in this build. And so here, there are some optimizations that can still be made in this particular um, scene. And I'm running this with, recording software on. Um, and so this does get, depending on exactly how I'm looking at it, this is what um, it was about 5,000 ships, I think, and it's dropped down now. But I was getting, depending on exactly where I was zoomed, anywhere from 20 to 50 frames a second, which the original game was hard locked at 20. And actually, the particle effects right now are one of the big blockers in a lot of battle situations at the moment. And those are something that I'm going to be massively changing how those are handled coming up. Um, yeah, so yay me, I won this planet. And this was just unplayably slow prior to this. Um, yep, capture. There we go. Anyway, so I'm really pleased with how that has come out. And you might think that that's an issue for modding, but there's actually some stuff that I've set up to make it really easy to handle the modding with that. Something else that people have been really asking about and are excited about. See, this is one of those things where the GUI is just insanity at the moment, where it's just like, oh my god, look at all this stuff. I can't tell what's going on. But something that's nice and that's helpful, you can now see the um, circle, for instance, like if I'm placing turrets, you can see the icon for what the type of turret is, and then their placement circle. So if I'm holding shift, I can tell, oh, hey, look, I'm still in placement mode. Versus if I click and I didn't hold shift, it's like, all right, I'm not in placement mode. Now you can actually tell that. Incidentally, these um, placement mode circles are far too small, but or not placement mode circles, but the actual collision circles are far too small. So there's some little tweaking and stuff that we need to do, and there's still plenty of work to be done with the game. But my big battle with performance on it is through. There is some other stuff, some really neat stuff with GPU movement of animation of the actual. Uh, I'll show you. This is easier to show. Um, Inside the individual squads, um, drawing the ships flying around. Planning on doing that via spline. This is in a little test project here. Um, and that's all well and good, but and you can see bad background here for this. Let me set something a little higher contrast for you. Sorry. Space BG. We'll click into here. Let's find something. It's blue, teal. Why not? Yep. Again, blue, teal, red. There. All right. So we got these autocannon mini pods here, and so these are all GPU instanced, and I can check that via the frame debugger to kind of verify that sort of thing. And they are oriented to this cube target thing here. So I can move that around in its local space. Let me shift this over a little. I can rotate it, for instance. And actually, at the moment, these things have a offset on their mesh, which I need to fix. Whoops. That's why they're showing off to the side so much. But I can rotate them around, and I can change their position. I can even scale them if need be. So that means I can run spline updates to do the um, kind of flocking looking behavior on not even a cube, just an invisible transform that I move around. And then I keep a record of what the matrix transform is for that thing that's been moving along the spline, what its heading is, all that sort of thing, what its current position is. And then for anything that's going to reference that, um, apply that. And that is all GPU side. And what's really cool is it's making it so that um, I'm able to set the bounding box on that so it doesn't get culled and all that sort of thing. And I can calculate it on the CPU side if I need to in order to be able to say, like, oh, shots heading here or shots, you know, any of that sort of stuff. So that's pretty cool stuff. Um, it's a lot more efficient than running it on the GPU or CPU, excuse me. The CPU has to update all this stuff with like physics and um, whole hierarchies of things. And when I just want these things flying around in kind of a non-sim visual fashion, being able to do it on the graphics card itself, um, well, that's a perfect place to do it. So anyway, that's coming up soon. That's not in this particular build, but that is kind of another piece of my performance saga, which is coming to a close. All right, this video went on longer than I meant to. Thanks for watching. Bye.